That's awesome. This mission is very possible. All right. Thank you, Jeff. We can shut off the music. It's 7 o'clock. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are live again as we do every Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we are looking to bring to you a lot of value. Our group, Wall Street to Main Street. Our hope and our mission is to give the public a lot of information about different topics that are relative to your life and can help your life. But we mainly focus on finances and how money works and financial knowledge, okay? But tonight we have a different twist to the program. Tonight we have 3 incredible entrepreneurs, very successful in their field, to come on and share with you their experiences, their struggles, their stories, their success, their overcomings, all the good stuff that you want to hear from a successful entrepreneur. And hopefully that we can give you some insight into business, and hopefully we can inspire you to get into business for yourself, okay? So a little bit about myself. I am a business owner in financial services. I have been in the industry for about 7 years. I love our mission. I love what we do. Our mission is to help people become financially independent, and we are doing that on a daily basis. We help people in 3 ways to become financially independent. Number 1, get a lot of financial knowledge. So this group is also providing one platform for that. Number 2, help them to plan for their financial portfolio so that eventually they can retire and have passive income. And then number 3, help the people who wants to get into entrepreneurship, who wants to get into the business world in financial industry. Then we train them, then we build them up, we help them to be very successful in their business. So we provide a business platform for them as well to build passive income, okay? Now, let me pass the mic over to our panelists and have them introduce themselves. We have 3 wonderful people that I call them friends, and I'm excited to hear from them and learn from them and have a good conversation with them. They will introduce to you who they are, their background, and then after that we go into the discussion about wealth and entrepreneurship, okay? Lynn, take it away.
All right, guys. So I'm Lynn Pedetti. I'm Vietnamese, but with an Italian surname Pedetti. So I live in Sydney, Australia, and I own a virtual assistant company called Outsourcing Angel. What it is we help business owners to free up time by outsourcing their marketing and admin work to people in the Philippines. So what I really love about my business is that, first of all, I get to work from home. For the last 10 years, I've been working from home. And I also get to create jobs for people in developing countries like the Philippines. So mums and dads don't have to travel hours and hours to get to work, but instead they work from home in provinces across the Philippines, and they support business owners in Australia and America and Canada, etc., who are really busy. There's just so much smart people out there now wanting to start a business, and they're overwhelmed. And so I love that I'm creating freedom, not just for business owners, but solving a problem in countries like the Philippines, so reducing poverty there without having to bring them all over to our country, right? I moved from Vietnam to Australia, in 1992, but of course we can't bring everybody here, but we can help them whatever we can in that way.
Absolutely. I think what you're doing is just awesome. I'm so glad to be connected with you and get to know your work. Awesome. Estella, take it away.
Thank you, Dewey. My name is Estella Valdivinos, and I'm from California, actually from the Central Valley of California, and I'm in the industry of the financial services. I've been in this industry 8 years, and how I came across this platform was really for the financial education piece. My mom's originally from Mexico, and really kind of changed the stars and the trajectory of our family. She put herself through college. She's college educated. She's also licensed through the state of California for what she does. And really just going through every day of, the American life, the American dream, and retired about 9 years ago, anticipating to enjoy retirement, and realized that she was not going to have enough money in retirement, so I had to go back to work. And so I was in my early 30s and I wanted to change it. And so I came across this company that now I'm a broker of. And I realized that so many people need financial education. So I came in, and now my passion is to really help individuals empower themselves with financial literacy. And really also the next level is really coach and mentor individuals that come from an employee background to an entrepreneurship using our platform to do so. So thank you for inviting me on this call, Dewey. I'm really excited for this.
Wow, thank you for coming. You know, when I asked these three individuals to come, Estella was like, "Yeah, I'm on it. I'm there." So, thank you for your time and always available to help me out.
Absolutely.
Jeff, we want to hear from you.
Absolutely. Jeff Goodall here with Berkshire Hathaway and the Goodall Group. From San Diego originally. Family's been in real estate for quite some time, but connected with Dewey online, and we've talked a couple times now, and it's such a blessing to be a part of this. I'm obviously, like I said, a real estate professional here in San Diego. I'm also an entrepreneur and investor. It's run in my family for a long time. Like I mentioned prior, I think our family's been doing this now for about 60 years, but bring the millennial side of entrepreneurship and also investing and a different perspective, I think that's kind of unique and fresh. So excited to be a part of this, and definitely here to answer any questions that people have real estate related. And also how you can set yourself up financially long-term as a millennial when it comes to diversifying and looking at some different ways to get your assets out there into the market and also into real estate.
Awesome, Jeff. You know, Jeff is one of the great person that I got to know on Facebook. He's very responsive, very professional, very nice, have a great personality. You know, on Facebook, a lot of people, they think, oh, you know, it's virtual. It may not be real. That person may not be real. So they really don't respond, and they don't have a personality. They don't have the trust. But Jeff is different. Jeff is, and that's why he's successful, right? So I appreciate you, Jeff, for your connection and coming on tonight.
Well, thank
All
you.
right. Awesome. Are you guys excited? This is, I mean, when I listen to these people talk on the panel right here, I'm like, man, I'm gonna learn something from these individuals here. So let's go into some discussions about, you know, our journeys in business and entrepreneurship and all that. I would appreciate that you share some struggle, because struggle inspire people, right? We don't all become successful, just everything just smooth and the road is clear. There's no obstacle. It's never like that in business. So you will hear some struggles as well, and that would be awesome. So let me kind of moderate this, okay? I want you guys to start out. You go into business. Why did you go into entrepreneurship? You know, a lot of people, they are satisfied with a job and a salary, but you guys decided that entrepreneurship is the way. Why was that? Anybody?
You want me to start?
Yeah, Lynn, go
I'll
ahead.
go my order of Lynn Fidetti. Okay. So I became a single mum at the age of 20. I was a rebellious kid, you know, growing up with a strict Asian parents that just, you know, controlled me. And so I rebelled. I ended up with a kid really young. And so I experienced what 30-year-olds experience now. 30-year-olds nowadays, you know, when you start to settle, have a family, you realize that you want flexibility. But in my 20s, I was like working in a corporate job, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to mind my kid if I'm always working 9 to 5 and you know, have to drop him off early. And so I experienced that kind of work-life not balance early on. And so I realized I had no other choice but to start a business because I wanted to be there for my kid. And I remember waking up dreading to go to work every day. And I'm like, I can't keep doing this. And so I started a business with no experience at all, but the pain of staying was just way too strong. So no matter how hard business was at, I realized that I just don't want to go back that way. And so that's my kind of drive. I think, you know, when you have a reason to start a business, like having a kid, you just push through. And then later on, when I end up having 2 more kids later on, I've realized that I've been able to build a business that I can work from home. There's so much flexibility, so that when I did raise my next 2 kids, it was just so much freedom. So yeah, that's my story.
That's awesome. So time flexibility is big for you, especially as a mom, right? So a lot of mom entrepreneurs out there, they want the same thing.
Yeah.
The reason they get into the business is the time freedom or flexibility of time. How about you guys, Estella and Jeff? Why did you get into business?
I can share if that's okay, Jeff. How I got into business was actually accidentally. Entrepreneurship was on accident. Like I said, when I initially came into the platform that I'm a part of, I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. I was a stellar employee. I showed, I went early to work, stayed late. I was chasing the corporate ladder, going to the next level financially. Because I believe that's what we're taught, especially when we come from a different country to the United States. It's education, follow your education, get a degree. And so that was implanted in me, not about business ownership, entrepreneurship, any of that stuff. And so when I came into the company, started learning about money and understanding how financial literacy works, and to become financially independent, it comes from owning your own business. So I was absolutely intrigued. I'm ambitious, and I really didn't realize that I was a walking dead person. Going through the motions of life. Just going to work, showing up, and a fire was lit inside of me. And I've always been the go-getter type. And with the right platform, right mentorship, the entrepreneur spirit was awoken in me, and it's led me down this path. And now that I'm on it, it's given me the freedom of time, freedom of choice, having choice, the power to choose what you want in your life is extremely powerful. And ultimately, my mom is the reason why I started, and my mom is the reason why, like Lynn says, there has to be a propelling reason why you're doing something.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful that, during these times of COVID, I've gotten to experience what it is to be an entrepreneur and really own your own time and own your own business. Because if you don't mind, I'm going to share a quick story. My mom's still 71 and still working. She loves what she does, but she was being forced to work, and I told her, Mom, you have the freedom to choose because of what I've built in the last 8 years, and you don't have to go back to work. And
that's awesome.
that's just a testament to what we're doing. Someone has to pay the price. And I'm glad that I did in entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship, the journey is not always easy. It's not always rosy and, butterflies and all that good stuff, but it's absolutely worth it. And so, that's my journey. I kind of fell onto it, and, that spirit was awoken within me, and I loved it. And I love the journey thus far. And now my mission is to help awaken that in other people.
That is awesome. Wow. Incredible. Powerful. How about you, Jeff?
That's going to be hard to follow when you're coming with a story like that. But, I think similar to everybody else here, we all want more time and freedom, and we also enjoy working and know that hard hours and long hours are what comes with being an entrepreneur. For me, it's a little different though. I love giving back. I enjoy having the time and freedom. I don't have any kids of my own at this point. I am not married, which gives me a little bit more flexibility than most, but I've got 2 nieces that are phenomenal, that are 5 and 1, so I get to go spend time with them. I have a daughter that is not biologically mine, but I've helped raise the last 3.5 years, so I've been blessed to get to spend time with her and have the freedom to spend the evenings and do the things I want to do there. But besides that, I like giving back. So I like working with nonprofits. I like being able to go down to San Diego State. I'm the official real estate partner of the Aztecs, and interact with some of the players and build relationships that, as you guys know, when you're networking and you're building your sphere of influence, whether that's just on a individual basis or on a larger basis, that over time ends up opening doors that you wouldn't otherwise have, and you're able to give back a lot more and cultivate relationships from a very basic level, and from build a foundation that's real and that's not forced. And so for me, that's why I enjoy being an entrepreneur.
Awesome.
That is awesome. I think we all have a lot in common in terms of why we want to get into business. It's because of the freedom and the time flexibility. And I think one of the things that I wanted to get into business for is the income potential as well. I realized that at a job they decide how much they pay you, right? And it's hard to double your income in the next couple of years. But in business, you can definitely double your income, triple your income, depending on your experience and how much you put into it. So how much you put into it, is what you get out of it. Yeah. And for me, the job wasn't doing that for me. Doesn't matter how much I put into it. I can sleep at my workplace. I still get paid the same money. And so I don't think that was fair for me. So I got into business.
Like Jeff, I also love giving back, and I realized if I had a job, I can only help myself and my family. But if I have a business, I can then help more people. The more income you make, the more you can help more people. Yes,
absolutely. So people like us, I know all of you guys are great people, great human beings, and want to give back and help a lot of people. People like us we need to be very successful because we can do a lot of good things for people around us. And you know, good-hearted people like yourselves on this panel deserve to be very, very successful business so that you can give back more, right? The more successful we are, the more we give back. And that's an awesome thing. I love that. I love connecting with people who are good hearts.
Awesome.
All right. Let me ask a few more questions. So on your way to become successful, right now, I consider yourself very successful in your field, but it wasn't always easy like that. It wasn't a rosy, you know, way, path to your success. I'm sure you had a lot of obstacles, you had a lot of struggles. Can you share with us some of your struggles, some of your biggest struggles, and how did you overcome those struggles?
Jeff, you can go first now. You go.
You know, when it comes to real estate, it's probably one of the more competitive businesses. When most people think of who they're going to go out and use for a service, whether that's an optometrist, you have an eye appointment. You know, when you break a bone, you've got a surgeon or a doctor that you're going to go see. When you get sick, you've got somebody that's a general physician that you go to. When you think of real estate, especially in California, in Southern California, there's a very, very competitive group out there. And so in San Diego specifically, there's about 28,000 realtors locally.
Wow.
That people can choose from. So for me, it was about breaking out of the mold and doing something different. And that was really hard. The first year in, I wanted to hit the ground running and got my license. And my dad's been a broker for 36 years. And I said, hey, Dad, I'm going to come work for you. And that was met with a big fat no. I said, you know what? No, go out and interview with everybody else. Go meet with some of the big brokerages, understand what they're doing that's different, that might you know, teach you something and obviously help educate you, but also see what they're doing from a standpoint where if at some point you decide to go into business for yourself and not be under a big brokerage, you know what you're going up against from a marketing perspective or from a competition when it comes to getting listings. I shared earlier offline before we got on that I do both residential and commercial, which is something that a lot of people don't do. They specialize in one or the other, but for me, it's opened up doors and opportunities to give back, like you guys were saying, a lot more by doing both and by helping people with both. And my residential clients have actually found that, hey, if you're willing to help us with our family and our home, and that's what we trust and love the most, then business just comes second nature. And what I've done is built in a segment to our business model called the Good Old Group Gives, and we actually donate a portion of the proceeds from every deal we make back to a local nonprofit. We can't openly express that or pitch that or really market that because then you come into some DRE regulation issues. But what we do is wait till the end of a transaction. We go back to the client and say, hey, thank you so much. By the way, over the last 30, 60, 180 or 365 days, we've got to know you. We know you're passionate about X, Y, and Z. So we want to write a check in honor of you to that nonprofit and give back. And it's been kind of fun because I think that's what separates us from everybody else. But it also is an opportunity, like you were saying, to kind of showcase and be involved with the community and have fun with it. But there's also some obstacles that come along with giving. Obviously, the more you want to give, the more you need to earn, the harder you have to work, and the hours become longer. And it's kind of a revolving door and a hamster wheel at times, but it's definitely been a lot of fun.
That is awesome. You're doing phenomenal. And I love to hear that you always talk about giving back. You always talk about helping other people. And that's the kind of theme that we have on this panel. We want to give back. We want to help people, and that's the key for most of us as we got into business and we got to become successful in business. Then that's just awesome, man. Because a lot of people out there, it's all about, we know some people that's all about themselves, all about, hey, you know what? I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna live my lifestyle, and I'm gonna make the money for me. But I really think that, when we have the heart to help people, then the wealth will pour into our businesses, right? Because our heart is at the right place. Estella, you want to share some of your struggles?
Sure. The struggles, I think for me, some of the struggles that I encountered early on was just the paradigm shift from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur. What does it take? The mindset of ownership. That was an early struggle. I don't think it's necessarily the hard work. I think naturally I'm a hard worker, and I don't mind to grind. And, you know, as an entrepreneur, grinding 24/7. That wasn't it. It was just the going into a new industry. The financial services industry was one that was new to me because I was wanting to get my own financial household in order. And so that was a struggle. You know, there was times where I thought about quitting, should I continue the path or should I not? Because not everybody could sustain a strong entrepreneurship journey. And I would say that was for me the biggest struggle. But the great thing about our company is we have great mentors and a great platform that have years of success right ahead of us that are willing to teach us. And, you know, I love that Jeff and Lynn talk about giving back. You know, our platform is about giving back. And so our leadership has reached down to us to pull me up in the sense that has allowed me not to quit the journey that I was on and the reasons why. And now we're in that process of, you know, the person that's wanting to go into entrepreneurship. I'm in that position where I do want to create wealth and I want to help and give back to charity. But a lot of our work of what I do currently is about giving back to the everyday person and the everyday, working person as far as financial literacy piece and also the opportunity for entrepreneurship. So just to answer your question briefly, I would say just the paradigm shift from employee to business owner.
Yeah, you mentioned about mentorship, and I think that's one of the ways that we can give back when we become very successful in business, is to give back the experience, what we've learned, the knowledge, so that the new entrepreneur that wants to get into business, they can gain from it, right? So I don't, giving back not just our time, not just our money, but also that experience is very, very valuable. Right, Lynn?
Yeah. Okay. So when I first started my business, the biggest thing I didn't do is find a mentor and pay for a mentor. So I was a broke single mom. I wanted to start a business for flexibility and freedom. And so the only thing I thought of at the time was start an e-commerce store selling nail polish. And so I never asked myself, do I even have passion for nail polish? Why am I doing it? What problem am I solving? So because of didn't want to pay for a mentor, thought I can just figure it out myself. I end up spending thousands of dollars into this business. And so even the next few businesses that I started, it was like selling a premium phone number, trading sites, find a coach site. I had a lot of ideas, but I was just throwing money in just ideas I thought could make me money. So the thing I would say for people starting a business is think of the problem you want to solve for people, but the problem has to resonate with your passion and with your strength and skills. Because the only one that I thrived and lasted was, the outsourcing business, because I really saw that I love people, I love recruiting, and I also love that fact that I can help people in developing countries, which I was from Vietnam and the Philippines. So there was that connection of passion, strength, and skill that I thrived through that outsourcing business, because that was things. So I think, if you're starting a business, don't start because of the money opportunity. Start backwards with yourself, knowing who you are, knowing your strength, and don't start another Me Too business. Don't start another same business as Jeff or mine or Stella's. It's the exact same thing, but kind of like always think of how can you kind of spin it. It doesn't have to be a big difference, but there has to be, put you in it, a bit of your personality, a bit of your thing, so that it becomes a very unique, different business to the next person.
Awesome. I think that was a great advice that you talked about. Your business has to solve a problem, right? In society or in the business world or for the world. But at the same time, my daughter just walked across. This is a joy of working from home, right? But that solving problem has to resonate with your passion as well, and I think that's extremely crucial. That's a very, very good advice. Just to follow up on Jeff talking about in the beginning, that new realtors coming to the industry is very tough. It's cutthroat. From my understanding, 90% of the deals out there are being scooped up by the 10% super brokers or super agents, right?
So it's about 95% do 5% of the business, and 5% do 95% of the business.
Yeah. So what advice you have for people who maybe are new in real estate, or just getting started, what advice do you have for them to?
If I'm giving advice to young realtors, that's a good one, because I definitely don't want to build my competition that I've done in the past. Don't be scared to fail. I mean, you're going to put in a lot of work. Every time I interview somebody that is talking about getting into the industry or asking for advice, I tell them, if you're doing it for the money, the first few years, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You got to be in it because you want to help people. You've got to be in it because you want to help educate yourself, and you see build a long-term plan and stick to it. Because if I would have just done this the first year and said, hey, did I pay my bills? No. I mean, I put in sometimes 16-hour days for 6.5 days a week. Yeah. And if I was, paying myself a salary, I definitely would not. I would have been like $4 an hour. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it was about cultivating those relationships. Put yourself out there and be genuine, though. Like Lynn was saying, have something that separates you, that's different, but that's authentically you. Because if you try to do what everybody else is doing, and in real estate and in business in general, I've found that you're not reinventing. No one's reinventing the wheel. It's been done 10,000 times before, but it's just that little nuance and truth about yourself, or genuine aspect that you add or bring to it, that makes you completely different from everybody else.
Awesome advice. What are some of the things that help you? Maybe a book or some people that help you beginning to overcome your shortcomings or your struggles in the beginning of your careers. Maybe a mentor, all right, or maybe a business associate, maybe a class that you took. What are some of the things that helped you in the beginning? Let's start with maybe Estella.
With me, what helped? Well, as I mentioned, mentorship is absolutely key. I think yes. I think that a lot of reasons why entrepreneurs or businesses struggle or essentially aren't successful is because of lack of mentorship. But definitely, there's direct mentorship that we can have, and there's indirect mentorship, such as reading books. I have a lot of people that I follow. John Maxwell was one of the biggest persons that I followed in leadership, as a Christian leader. The books, and I learned from one of my mentors that act as if you have a table of people, of successors that are around you, and whether they're alive or not, you plan them. And John Maxwell was one of them. Jim Rohn was a huge aspect of personal development. Yes. He says, if you want more, become more. And I just went to work on myself. I knew that if I wanted to be a person of service, I had to be a person of value. So I started working on the skill sets of becoming a better person. And so having those mentors, and of course in our platform, we have personal mentors that I got to see on a daily and directly. But even if you don't have the means to have a mentor, like if there's a lot of entrepreneurs on this call that are wanting to become successors, there's a lot of people that you can surround yourself that are not in your vicinity as far as proximity, but you can bring them in your proximity by watching their videos, becoming a student of entrepreneurship, and just understanding that our level of awareness and our level of income is the person we are right now, our paradigm, where we're at. And if we want to elevate that, we have to elevate it by reprogramming our mindset. And we can do that. We can do that very low cost with technology. We have YouTube, we have, podcasts. There's so much, but don't have a personal mentor that you follow. In the beginning, it was Jim Rohn and John Maxwell that I followed in addition to my personal mentors in this business. So don't get too distracted with too many different people.
Yeah. Maybe some of us, we listen to too many people, we get confused, right? Who do I listen to? So make sure that your the messages or the speakers or the mentor you're listening to, they have the same message that they want to teach you, right? Not everywhere, messages everywhere, follow everybody, and then you don't go anywhere because you're so confused. That's a great advice, Estella. And I love Jim Rohn too. He said that one of the things that I love that he said was, you work mostly on yourself, not on your job or not in your business. You work on yourself, because when you become more valuable, of course you will get paid more. We get paid for value. We don't get paid for time.
Right.
And that's very, very valuable to me. How about you guys? How about Jeff? What are some things that helped you in the beginning?
As far as mentors go, I would definitely agree. I mean, the biggest thing I've found success with is changing things up. And the only constant is change. That's one of my favorite quotes, because if you're not improving yourself, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. And it took me a long time, I'd say probably 18 to 24 months being in the business, to not be content with not being content. And it drove me crazy because I felt like I was always trying to change something, but now that's kind of the new norm. It's if you're really digging in and thinking about who you are as a person, and that's making you a better individual, your business is going to follow right behind that in footstep. As far as mentors go, it's funny you said John Maxwell, because I grew up, John was originally a pastor here in San Diego, so I was privileged enough to get to listen to him quite a bit growing up. But Stephen Covey, who wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it's a book that I give everybody on my team when they come in and go through it. It's something that Berkshire Hathaway actually has a very good training course run by Sam Guillen, who put us through it. And so it's a book that I've used religiously the last couple of years with all my team members. But then also having great people and real estate coaches. I mean, I've got a real estate coach. I've switched mine a handful of times. I'm now working with Brian Buffini and his organization, it's another faith-based individual that I feel like when you have something that you believe and you're passionate about, that obviously helps create a strong foundation that's hard to deviate from. But also when you do have off days, when you do have things that you struggle with, you can kind of lean back on that and fall back on that. And obviously I know with Dewey, it sounds like he and I are very similar in our faith, but for me, that's faith. I mean, if you have an off day, you can sit there at the end of the night, you pray about it, you put your head down, and you wake up the next day and know, hey, you know what? We're going to get back up, we're going to get back after it, and tomorrow's a new day.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have the same faith as Dewey as well, so that means I have the same faith as Jeff, right?
yeah. So as Christians, we have that faith in our God, right? That everything's going to be okay, and there's a plan for us in our lives, and that's also a great mentorship as well. That's something that you can always fall back on, right? And help you through all the difficult times. It helped me so much, my faith. How about you, Lynn?
Okay, so one of my first business book was Robert Kiyosaki, The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that was the first book that got me interested in reading. So before that, I said I hate reading. The only book I read was from year 12. And then when I read that book, I realized I just fell in love with learning. And then Tony Robbins was one key person that I listened in and out every single day. And not only did I change my business life or financial life, I end up finding the love of my life. I changed a lot of aspects of my life. And I think one thing that entrepreneurs need to remember is that you need to work on yourself and around yourself, not just focusing purely on business and then not putting time in your health and fitness or your family and friends. So because I learned through Tony Robbins and the stuff that he taught, it was kind of very holistic. So I always made sure that along my journey, I never dropped a ball on any area. And so, I kept that consistent till now, and it keeps me a happy person, because I think if you're just too focused on business and then, your health suffers or your relationships suffer, then you're not going to be a happy person, because we ultimately want to be happy. But if we sometimes do, try to sacrifice and do one thing, we're not happy. And so I think that's the biggest thing. But yeah, over the years, I've had a lot of indirect mentors, so learn that I don't personally know of. But one advice I would say, or wish I did, was finding someone that has the success that I want, meaning they are more as in I can actually pay for their time to teach me something so that I could get to their level. And so that's what I didn't do, which took me a long time to figure out my way, because you listen to a lot of mentors and you try to, figure out your way. But if you know someone in your exact industry that you want to get into or the field you want to, find them and pay for their advice, and you get there faster.
Awesome. I heard some books that you guys mentioned, like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. One of my favorite books of all time is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in our industry, so that's probably one of the books that I think all entrepreneurs, especially new people, need to read to change your mindset to get into business, right? And also, as we get into business, one of the books that I read that really helped me was How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Dale Carnegie. And because when I started business, I wasn't very talkative. I couldn't communicate well. I cannot hold a conversation for more than 5 minutes. You know, I was just awkward, and I need to develop myself. And so mentorship through books really helped me. And those two books were the life changer for me. So if you guys are looking for books to read and you haven't read those two, go ahead and grab those two. You guys have any book recommendations for the audience? Besides,
Yeah, Atomic Habits is one of my favorite book, which is not maybe only like a past year or 2 years.
Atomic
Atomic Habits from
Okay.
James Clear, because I think ultimately success is an accumulation of very small daily habits, very small habits. And so that's why I have a very strong morning routine, and every day, if you care about your finance or you care about your family, you'll think, well, you're going to have to put some time in it. And every day you have that little bit of time every single day. But yeah, that book is really good because, like I said, whatever success you want, it's about changing your habit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Reading is a habit you need to develop. You know?
I'm curious about your morning routine. What is it?
So
Do you want to share?
Yeah, sure. So for the last 3 or 4 years, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I did it because I read that successful people or rich people wake up at 4 a.m. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. Well, actually, I've always wanted to do that, but I only found it possible when I met up with one of my VA, my virtual assistant. We had a holiday together, and she's a 4 a.m. wake up person. And at 8 a.m. when I woke up, she was like, "Hi, Miss Lynn, would you like a coffee?" And I was like, what is she on? And then it's because then I saw someone in real life that I know of that wakes up that early. It made me believe that it's possible. Yeah. And so coming back from the holiday, I came home and I just decided to wake up early. And from that day onward, I started waking up it was 5 a.m. for the first week, but then I realized, I didn't really save much time. Let's add another hour. So it was hard for a couple of weeks, but then I realized just how much benefit I got in terms of more time to work on. I realized my brain is very creative as well. So in the morning, I have a bit of a focus time, meaning working on really hard things or content that is hard to think of. Then I have time for journaling, meditation, and just time for myself. Because when you have kids, you just don't have time for yourself. And so even now on weekends, I wake up at that time just because I'm in love with that time with myself. And so the last about 3 or 4 months, I decided to add another 15 minutes to my day. So now I officially wake up at 3:45.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
Crazy, but it's only crazy because the benefit outweighs the, slipping
Absolutely.
in.
Absolutely. Now you beat Kobe Bryant. He wakes up at 4
okay.
a.m. Now you beat him by 15 minutes.
So
awesome
my
job.
logic behind that was because when you wake up, you have to brush your teeth, you do like kind of menial things. So I thought I'm going to spend that first 15 minutes doing the menial thing that don't add any value, so that at 4 o'clock it's like ready to go.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Do you guys have any book recommendations, Estella or Jeff?
I just read a new book called Inner Size by John Assaraf. That was such a powerful book on creating new neuroplasticities. And actually, a team of us, about 11 or 12 of us, get up at 6:30 in the morning and we do a book club. So we do about a 45-minute hour of reading.
Nice.
And so in the last 72 days, we've read 6 books.
Wow.
And so it's been awesome. And of course, right now we're on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and we're going through the workbook. It's such an awesome book. But we've, some of the books, as you mentioned, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Think and Grow Rich is obviously one of the books to read. Yeah. And I'm with Lynn on Rich Dad Poor Dad, because you learn about the 4 cash flow quadrants, the 4 ways you can make money. And so I've read a lot of books, but the morning routine I think is absolutely important. I started getting up during COVID. I wanted to make sure I was ahead of the game. So we started getting up at 5:30 and now we're at 4:45. So now I got something to work towards against Lynn, but she's
wow.
So I had to get up at midnight.
Right, I wake up around 6:37. You guys make me feel so bad. Okay, I'm gonna compete.
It's like we just won't sleep, which is
well, by the time Lynn's waking up, we're just going to sleep. How many hours ahead are you, Lynn?
I don't. It's 12:30 p.m. right now for me. So.
Oh, you're.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't work out backward. I used to be good at maths because I'm Vietnamese. I'm Asian, but then I don't know what happened later on.
About 7 hours. 7 hours difference. Yeah.
The day after or something. I'm on Saturday right now.
Yeah. So she's a whole day ahead of us.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
So
well,
you're 17 hours ahead.
Yeah.
okay. Well, let's compete against that, Dewey.
I think people are curious to know what time we sleep, because whenever we say we wake up at that time, the first thing they say is,
Yeah.
what time do you go to bed? Well, I would say that I just need to have at least 6 hours of sleep. So let's just say if I sleep by 9 o'clock, that's good, but it's not about the quantity of sleep. I find it's the quality of sleep. I'm the type that has always closed my eyes and I'm dead asleep. I dream every single night, so I know that I have like quality sleep. But for those who think that I have to have 8 hours, well, I would question, you don't. It's a belief. If people think I have to, that's why they go, well, I can't do that because I have to have 8. But I just have to have 6. How about you, Estella? Are you 6 or?
6 hours. I'm with you on the quality of sleep. Every time I go to bed, I say I'm about to have the most restful, peaceful sleep. And I know that it's 4 to 5 hours. We're good to go. But I think sometimes people are unintentional when they fall asleep. They don't have an intention in mind to say, I'm going to get some restful, peaceful sleep. And they just go to bed and they wake up tired with no intention. And I think that's the reactive part, kind of what the 7 habits of highly effective people, the proactive versus the reactive. And everything has to have an intention. I think it gives us more clarity. It gives us an end result.
Yeah, and you touch a little bit on the affirmation or self-talk, right? I'm gonna have a great sleep. You say that kind of thing. What else do you say to yourself during the day? While you're working and while you're building your business and going through your struggle. Some things that you say to yourself that helps you get through. What are some of the things you guys say to yourself? How do you talk to yourself?
Who do you want to?
When I'm going through a struggle. Oh, go ahead, Lynn.
No, I was just like, pick a person. Otherwise, like we all want to talk and we don't know.
Okay, Jeff is waiting to talk.
I'm just sitting here enjoying it. I listen. I try to listen more than I talk, but I try to just be very positive. I mean, it's easy. I believe in manifesting things. I don't know how other people feel about that, but when you put things out into the world, whether that's positive energy, I know you get it back. So for me, it's when I am struggling with something, I try to manifest, hey, what is it that I want? So in the morning, my routine's a little different. I work late, and I think everybody else is not used to that, but I was a DJ prior to being in real estate. And so my nights were late and my mornings were early. And I'm normally up till 2:30 or 3 in the morning. That's not uncommon. And then I get up between 7:30 and 8 and answer emails, jump in the shower, make my bed. That's always my morning routine. Very quick, very simple. Start the morning with a win. But as far as like affirmations or mantras go, I've had them in the past, but I always try to get up and think, how do we start? It's something that's kind of weird, but if any of you guys are on Instagram, go check out Charlie. He's a gentleman who started a thing called the winning streak. And it's the idea that you start every morning on a positive note and you build off of that. So for me, I get to wake up every morning, sun's out, get to make my bed. That's a winning streak. I made my bed, I already have one win for the day. Go to Starbucks, get my coffee, for $3.45 or $3.95, whatever the coffee is that morning, all that goodness in one cup, and it's less than $5. Like that's another win. So you're constantly trying to find winning streaks and you build off of that. So for me, my mantra or affirmation is how many winning streaks or how long can I keep this winning streak going?
I love that. Man, this is powerful. So let me share a little bit about my morning routine. I wake up roughly maybe anywhere from 6:30 to 7. I go to bed around 10 p.m. just because my kids have to go to sleep, and they always sleep with us. All of our kids, we have 4 kids, and they crawl all on the bed. We have 2 Cow King beds in the bedroom. And so we have 6 of us on the bed every single night, and they have to go to sleep early so that they can wake up early for school. So every time they go to sleep, they always say, "Daddy, can you go lay with us?" And I would go lay for a while, and then sometimes I get up after they fall asleep. I get up, do some more work, and so in the morning I wake up, I do some meditation. I talk to my God. This is my time to be with me and also be with my God. And this is the most precious time to me because I get to listen. Everything is quiet around me. Nobody's awake yet. The world is still, trying to wake up. And I love that time. And that's where I get most of my ideas about business, about life, about self-improvement and all of that. And so most of my business programs come from my morning, morning meditation. And then, after that, I go exercise for maybe an hour. And that's a big win too, Jeff. I mean, you're talking about small wins and compounding. In the morning, it's very crucial for you to have wins in the morning. You feel like a winner already to start your day. I make my bed every morning. After I watch that Colonel video, if you want to change the world, you have to go and make your bed first. And so from then on, maybe about 3 years ago, I started making my bed every morning. And it's a great feeling. You wake up, you're winning already. Man, you're powerful. You feel powerful, ready to go. All right, awesome. I hope you guys on Facebook and Zoom and everywhere around the world, you're finding value in this. I hope that you're learning a lot, and I hope that you.
Can I share my journal thing?
Go ahead, yeah.
I help people. So I just have every morning I write in my journal, and it's just a very simple concept. It's just, what's the one focus today? Like, what is like the one thing I really want to achieve today? What is the 2 intentions for today? So that I write it as I am feeling, and I put in that. So it's not saying what I hope to feel. I am feeling, and then I put in like, if I'm having a meeting somewhere and I want it to be in certain way, I say I am feeling excited. I am feeling whatever. And if I'm feeling overwhelmed when I wake up, I might say I am feeling calm. So then it's kind of sets the intention, and then I am being. So how are you being in that day? So those 2. Then it's 3 gratitude. So always thank you God for 1, 2, 3. And the gratitude I started 10 years ago when Oprah said to be grateful. And at that time I had nothing going. I felt like it was nothing to be grateful for. And I just had to pick my brain writing it. But it was such a great habit, because through gratitude and through, just focusing on what you have, you will get more. And it helps with manifestation, like Jeff said, right? Manifestation is all about putting it out there, but being grateful, because there's always something good that's going on in your life, even though it doesn't look like it.
Absolutely. That is so valuable. Gratefulness, right?
Can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Estella. Go for it.
Yeah, I started practicing gratitude in the morning as part of my morning routine. And it's been life-changing, because one thing in entrepreneurship, you're going to always have downturns or feel like you're not winning when you are, because it always feels that way. Gratitude has been part of my morning routine, and reading my business plan, because of Think and Grow Rich. I go through my affirmations, all my daily affirmations, which I have 10 of them. I go through my business plan. I read through that, and I actually stretch in the morning as I'm doing my gratitude, just stretching. And I pretty work out consistently, but there's certain days that I'm okay not working out because I have other things. I don't make it the #1 focus, but I love working out because I've recorded myself with my affirmations and my money affirmations and my life affirmations. And I actually listen to myself, and I go to bed listening to that, just so I can program my subconscious mind for the the law of attraction and bringing it closer to us. But the gratitude, I think, is extremely practicing gratitude, not only in the morning, but throughout the day and at night, is extremely powerful for anybody, but especially as an entrepreneur, because there's always going to come through challenges where we feel like we're not winning when we are. And that moment of gratitude just changes our whole physiology, our whole thought process, our whole psyche. So what a great advice, Lynn, on that gratitude, because that changes our whole spirit.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else you want to add, Jeff or Lynn? Let's talk about, Go ahead.
No,
Let's talk
all day, but you can go back to your questions if you like.
Okay, let's talk about success. Jeff, do you want to say something? Go ahead.
I have one quick book. I know that we were talking about books and I skipped over it, but The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. If you guys have not read that, go buy it. It's phenomenal. It 2 years ago got to meet Mel, and it changed my life the last 2 years. So that was the one thing. I was sitting here taking notes and went, okay, I didn't talk about that. But other than that, go get it.
Yeah, that's a good one. One tip around books is that only up until 2 months ago, I bought myself a Kindle reader. And I would say that has helped me to speed up my reading process. I could read so many books in one day, because it also has a percentage. So as I'm reading, it says I'm 30% in. I'm like, oh, cool. And I end up like just keep reading because I want it to just because I'm 70% through it, right? And then I read it, and then you can also highlight as you're reading, and then you send yourself a summary. How amazing is that? So I email myself a summary, whereas before I could read only when I'm traveling. I have books. I like books because it's tangible and I can see it. When I'm listening to audio, sometimes I feel like I'm not really listening. Like you're distracted, if you know what I mean. And so investing in the Kindle recently has just made my reading like gone to a next level.
Awesome. And on those topics, books and audios, I really think that every entrepreneur should have a go-to resource, go-to book or go-to audio that at the most needed moment, you go to read that passage or you read that page or you read that book or you listen to that audio, then it changed your physiology. Like sometimes you feel so down and you don't know what to do. You gotta have a go-to resource to go to and say, okay, after you read that or you listen to that, you get out of that mode, the defeated mode, right? And so that's one of the advice that I give to some of the young people that we work with. I have a go-to resource for your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about success, guys. I want to know your definition of success. What is your definition of success? Estella?
Oh, great question. A definition of success, I would say, is absolute level of fulfillment. Being fulfilled in what you're doing. It's not monetary. I mean, I think it's all rounds. I think monetary obviously is part of that. The spiritual base, our faith base has to be there. Physically, we got to be there. But I feel like success is being fulfilled. Because once you're fulfilled, you're able to pour into other people. And for me, that is what I would define success for me personally, is being fulfilled and being able to help fulfill others' fulfillment as well, pouring into other people.
Success is fulfillment. Powerful. How about you, Lynn?
Wow, I really love that. And I agree totally with that feeling of fulfillment. But I would say to add on to that is just being able to be me, to do whatever I want with whoever I want, and then to help others to also feel like they can do whatever they want. Because I think, we forget that we only have one life, and we also don't know how long we're going to live. And, I was blessed with this mindset when I was young that what if I don't have tomorrow? So that's why I'm very like high energy and fast, because I always feel like I don't have enough time. But when I talk to older people who are in their 60s, 70s, they only just got that lesson. They're like, I realized that my life is getting shorter. I'm going to leave a legacy. And so I realized that a lot of people actually just thought that they can live forever. And so knowing that, I know so many people who die young from cancer at their 30s and all that too. And so I think, life is just so precious. There's only one. Why just not do the best that you can to have so much fun and feel fulfilled, and then help others to feel fulfilled, because it's just wasted dreams for ourselves and others.
Absolutely.
Awesome. How about you, Jeff?
For me, success is a little different. It's finding happiness in the moment. So regardless of what you're doing and who you're with, it's kind of similar to what both you guys said, but it's being able to take a step back in any setting, any place, at any time, and saying, okay, I'm truly happy right now with whatever I'm doing. If that's with a client, out looking at properties and helping their dream come true, it's that. If it's out with family, at dinner, or being able to unplug and set your phone down, and or at night, like you guys were talking about earlier. I feel like success is just living in that moment for that moment and knowing you're never going to get it again, but being able to appreciate that, because I think a lot of people, like you were saying, just go all the way through life like chickens with their heads cut off and don't actually take a breath and build, they're not able to take a step back and remove themselves from the moment to say, wow, you know what, this is really a cool thing that we've been able to create, or that I've been able to over all the adversity we've been able to overcome. So for me, it's just being able to take a step back in that moment, wherever the moment is, and appreciating the journey, but also how far I've come and even how far I still have left to go.
Awesome. I've been looking at the Facebook Live and to see if we have any questions that we can address. And as we are talking, I think we're answering a lot of questions for these people. Also, on a topic of fulfillment, I came across a great definition of happiness versus fulfillment that it really resonate with me, and I think it's makes so much sense. Happiness is you making yourself happy. Fulfillment is you making other people happy. And we gotta have both. We gotta live life where we are happy, and at the same time we talk about contribution and giving back is making other people happy. Because when, for example, we do a charity trip somewhere, help some orphanages, you feel happy because you satisfy the self version of you that want to be contributing, and also at the same time you feel fulfilled because what? Because you know you're helping other people have a better life. And so I think that's a great definition. What do you guys think?
I love it.
Yes, totally. I think you have to, fill yourself up first before you can fill others. And, one thing that kept me sane, because I was only 20 when I had a kid, was just also that mindset of like, I need to have fun. I need to be happy too.
Yeah.
And so I was still going out and enjoying my youth, and then, and even now that I'm in my 30s, I would always have time for, friends and going out. Last week I had a slumber party with my girlfriends and my husband looked after the kids. It's like, if I'm not happy, no one's going to be happy. So I think that's women out there that just because you're a mother now or whatever it is, you need to still care about yourself so that you have that energy and mindset to help others. Yeah.
I think that's a great tip, Lynn. As everyday people, but even more so as entrepreneurs, self-care is absolutely important. I mean, during this COVID pandemic, self-care is absolutely important because we can't give that fulfillment to other people if we're not being fulfilled and we're not filling our cup. So that's great advice, to take time to re-energize ourselves, whatever that is. If that's taking a drive. I love nature, so I love putting my feet in the ground. I love like the dirt and the earth. For me, that it re-energizes me. I love the sand. I love trees, and for me, that's how I re-energize and just the self-care part of it. But I think that's really important as an entrepreneur, is to have that self-care to re-energize, because we are all constantly giving.
Wow, awesome. I think we're coming to a close, but I don't want it to. I want to stretch out time, but I want to be respectful of your time as well. And I do appreciate all of you to come on and spend an hour with us and spend an hour with our audience on Facebook and also on Zoom. We have 17 people on Zoom, and at the peak time, I saw that we had about 55 people watching live, and that means that there are thousands of people watching through the postings, the sharing, and also the watch parties. So I think we are doing an excellent job of giving people value and some great advices for aspiring entrepreneurs. What's one final advice that you can give someone who just about to get into business? They made a decision, want to get into business. Maybe they left a job. What is one advice that you can give them?
Who?
Estella, go for it.
Okay. One advice is knowing why you're doing it. Without that propelling reason why someone's doing it, it's easy to deter, quit, or just completely get distracted. So that would be the why. Get crystal clear as to why you're doing it. What's the purpose? What's the intention behind it?
Excellent advice. Thank you, Estella. Lynn, go.
Yep, I agree with that. And that's going to give you that strength and determination not to give up. And I would say just take one step at a time, no rush, because sometimes you have this big goal and then you don't get there and then you feel defeated. But it's all about progress, just one day at a time. Really shy, and now I'm not shy. No one believes me that, right? Or I used to be whatever. And so, like, you just never know.
Unbelievable.
Exactly, right?
That's my story.
That's another story I could tell you, but overall it's just one day at a time, and the next thing you know, you become this new person. So just use it as a journey. Actually, I would say entrepreneurship is more about a journey to discover yourself more than anything. And so enjoy it.
I think that's very, very powerful. If we take one step at a time, then the mountain is not too intimidating, right? If we look at Everest and we look at the whole mountain as a whole, like our business, it's very scary and intimidating. But we just look at the next step. What is the next step? And then you step, and eventually you're halfway there, to the top. And so Grateful for your advice. Jeff, final advice.
Mine's gonna be different, but I feel like it's very me. So if you have gotten to know me over the night, you'll kind of understand why I say this. Take the leap of faith and fail hard, because it's okay to fail. I think a lot of people have that fear of making that jump and not going out on their own or not pursuing whatever they're passionate about. It's okay to fail. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up after you get knocked down. So get that fail out of the way early and fail hard, and don't be scared to fail hard, because when you do, when you get back up, you're gonna realize it wasn't that bad. You know, I jumped, it sucked, it hurt. You know, I didn't succeed the first time up. And I mean, a lot of the people that I know that are successful, that are entrepreneurs, if you look at all the whether you're very wealthy in love and energy, or you're successful in monetary things or whatever it is, they've failed hundreds of thousands of times, and they've all gotten back up and got over it. So fail hard and enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, because it's very easy to get caught up in the moment and miss all the moments that are as they're happening. So fail and enjoy everything, because it's a quick ride, but that journey is very, very fast from start to where you are now, or where we all are individually now.
Great advice. I think that's crucial. You know, after you fail and you get up and you start working again and you thrive again, surviving from that big fail is where courage is built. Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
Then you feel like you can go through another one and you survive, because now you have courage to go through it. That's just amazing. I think we maxed out our time, but I'd like to take a couple moments to talk about our next event for you guys to join next Friday at 7 p.m. Same time, same place. Different people, of course. But yeah, let me click to the end right here. If you can, you know, take out your phone and point your camera to this QR code, and maybe you can help us do a seminar survey, your feedback, anything we need to improve on, or some complaints that you have that we didn't answer your questions on time, or things like that. We'll take everything, okay? So go ahead and do that. And then this is our next event. You can register for this to be on Zoom with us if you want to, or you can just casually enjoy it on Facebook Live. Every Friday, we go Facebook Live, and the next subject that we're going to talk about is retirement planning for millennials. This is big. This is a big deal. And we have two wonderful hosts, Hung and also Deborah Chi, financial professionals and experts in the financial planning field. Deborah is one of the best presenters, so clear, so precise, and easy to follow. So you want to tune in next time, okay? All of this is free, no cost to anybody. And also, again, our Facebook page group is Wall Street to Main Street. We would love to have you join our group and expand this group. We are here to provide to you free financial education, financial knowledge, latest news and information in the financial industry. And when you join, you're going to get all of that, right, on a daily, weekly basis. And then you will know all of our events. We announce all of our events on this group page. So go ahead and click on the QR, point on the QR code and join our group. We would love to have you. Thank you very much, our panelists, Estella, Jeff, and Lynn. You guys have been amazing, and you've been gracious with your time and effort and energy and advices. I learned so much, and I've taken away so much from this, and I hope our audience on Facebook and on Zoom have gotten a lot out of this as well. And I appreciate a lot of people coming out just to support us, you know, and maybe maybe to see if, you know, maybe in these panels. All right, that'd be awesome. So if you want to participate, you want to be involved, contact us, contact me. This is my information. We would love to talk with you. We would love to connect with you, and we would love to do business together. Okay? Have a great night, guys. Lynn, Jeff, Estella, you guys are amazing.
Awesome. Jeff, music. Come on, DJ. We're gonna end it with the
yeah, end with a dance, right?
We can do that. Hold on.
Party. See, there's always that party girl in me, right? You know, I went from that party girl to.
I love it. I love your energy, Lynn. You are contagious. Keep it going. Awesome. Hey, good luck with your
Thanks,
business,
guys.
right? Good luck with all of your business. If I can help in any way in your business, let me know. I know we're going to work together in the future on more projects. And love and appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dewey.
Have a good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Bye.